So in today's video, we are going to continue with the cancellations. Okay, we just added to update the Google Sheet about the subscription ID when the user purchase. Okay, so also we are going to improve based on the cancellations the process. Okay, so the process currently we are looking at is when the cancellation triggers to the inbound webhook, we are going to search Google Sheet for the subscription ID. Okay, and then we are going to save the workspace ID into user custom field. Okay, because this is a very core, very important thing. In order to use any of UChat partner API, we need a workspace ID, right? But when we are getting the cancellation webhook events from Stripe, we only have the user NS, the product name. All this information is not unique enough for us to get the workspace ID from the Google Sheet. Okay, because the user might purchase different add-ons. Okay, they might purchase a couple of extra bots. They may purchase different pricing plans. Okay, after all those information are not unique identifiers for us to get the workspace ID. So that's why we add a bonus lesson to update the Google Sheet with the subscription ID, and that is unique. Okay, so in this video we are going to improve on the cancellation inbound webhook as well. So as you can see, this Stripe cancellation inbound webhook is triggering this flow. Okay, so we are going to first edit this inbound webhook. We are going to save, let's preview the payload. We are going to save the subscription ID. So as you can see, this is subscription ID. We are going to save this one into subscription ID user fields. Okay, we are going to add that, and then this subscription ID will be saved into the user fields. Okay, so now let's save this one, and now let's go to the subscription Stripe cancellation automation, and we are going to change this search Google Sheet. Okay, we are going to search, but in this time we are not going to search by any of that. We are going to search get a row from Google Sheet. We are going to get a subscription ID, and the value is search the user's subscription ID over here and save. And we are going to only save the workspace ID into the user workspace ID. Okay, so that is something we improved, and now let's do a simple test. So how we're going to do this test, let me show another thing, and we will add no workspace ID found, and we will display subscription ID is subscription ID, and also the workspace ID. This is already found in the workspace ID. We will also display the subscription ID is. Okay, so that we make sure that we understand this process. Okay, so now let's do a quick test. We will do a whole preview. Okay, let me get my mobile, and we will preview. We will purchase another thing, simulate another process. So we will still use this workspace. Okay, and let me downgrade this workspace to free plan. And now let me preview this flow. So as you can see now, we received the data, and we will purchase the main plan. Okay, after we purchase, that will be another records add into the Google Sheet, and then we will immediately cancel this subscription. So let's subscribe. Let me subscribe this first. And you can see the data is coming in, and soon, very soon, this will be updated. Okay, because this API is already success, and now I have the subscription ID. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to cancel the subscription, and before we do that, I'm actually going to find the bot user. I'm going to clear the custom fields. Okay, because a workspace ID, we are going to save the value into a workspace ID, so I'm going to delete this one. And also same with the subscription ID, we are going to delete this one. And because after that cancellation webhook triggered, we should able to write the workspace ID and the subscription ID into my custom fields. Okay, as you can see, we only write the subscription ID and the product name in the user custom fields, and in this flow we actually search the subscription ID from the Google Sheet, and then if we find the record, we are saving the workspace ID into the user's custom fields. Okay, so let's put on the log, and now let's go to Stripe. Okay, let's go to the subscriptions over here, and we will pick up this one, and then first of all, let's make sure that this subscription ID is the same. Okay, as you can see, it's end with MRHYM, right? So it's the same subscription ID. We will just change this to anything and any value. Okay, now let me cancel this subscription. Okay, I clicked the wrong button. So let's cancel this subscription immediately. And now let's go to the inbound webhook. Let's reload the page. Reload the page. So, okay, not this one. So as you can see, this is new is triggered. Okay, it's trigger success. And on the phone, it's actually, as you can see now, it found the workspace ID correctly, and also the subscription ID is also populated correctly. Okay, so now it's safe for us to move to the next step finally, because we are able to actually get the workspace ID, and then we can actually connect that workspace ID with the function flow. Okay, so I think that's a good this is a good start, and in the next one we are actually going to continue with our previously steps. Okay, so that's for today, and see you in the next video. Bye.